YouTube? This is Shirley426, and today we have the review of my first frame arms kit from Kotobukiya. This is the Kotobukiya Frame Arms Jinrai. That's as far as I know, that's what it's called. Yep, it's called Jinrai, and the main reason I bought this is because it's red and has a green visor on it, so that's pretty much the perfect combination for me to get something. But in seriousness, a lot of people who knew me on Facebook or online some of them would mention that I should try some frame arms kit. I did want to try them out, but the main reason why I have been stalling for a long time is that basically even with the Gunpla stuff, it was a lot, and I basically did not want to grow another addiction. But after building this, congratulations, you guys got me addicted. So you might see more frame arms kit in the future. So first of all, as I mentioned, this is my first frame arms kit. This is not my first Kotobukiya kits. Those who know, I have reviewed the HMM Saber Tiger from the Zoid series. Other than that, I have also tried the Armored Core kits, the Crest line, 2 of them. Of course, I haven't reviewed them because they were like a long time ago. I built this a long time ago, so they are not in the best shape at the moment. So, which is why I wasn't able to review them. Now, and another interesting part is that I believe the one that you see in front of me is like a Kotobukiya shop, it's like a limited edition from Kotobukiya. So which is why when I purchased this, they also mentioned that I'll be getting some extra parts, a bag of extra parts actually. So here we have the extra parts. So according to research and according to you guys, these parts are basically parts that allows me to make the original Go-Rai. So the Go-Rai is like the most famous or the most basic frame arms out there, which is basically like a more how should I say, like a more support unit that's more based on a tank. Now this thing is kind of based on that, or the design is based on Go-Rai, but instead of being a support type unit, this is more of a close combat type unit. And the main reason I won't be able to show you guys is that I did technically order another inner frame. So for those who don't know, frame arms kit, they have a lot of variations, but the main thing is that they share the same inner frame. So you can see these light purple or light pink parts, inner frame-ish parts you see. Those are all inner frame parts, and like almost 90% of the Kotobukiya frame arms kit, as far as I know, share the same frame, which is why another aspect of Kotobukiya is that they also sell just the inner frame base, which is called the Architect, I believe. There's a new one in the renewal there's an old one and a renewal version. I'm not too sure what's the main difference, but yeah, I did order one more frame to build the normal Go-Rai using this, but it hasn't arrived yet, so which is why I won't be able to show you guys these parts. But obviously, if you bought the Jinrai, you want to see the Jinrai. I don't think anybody would buy the Jinrai to get these special parts to make a red Go-Rai, as far as I know. Yes, the Go-Rai is a normal release, which you can pretty much get easily at this point. And yeah, a lot of things are based on the Go-Rai, so I think there should be a lot of Go-Rai reviews out there. So I don't think it's really necessary for me to show you guys a red version at this point. Okay, so despite being so-called like webshop limited exclusive, this seems to be pretty easy. This can be obtained pretty easily even to this day. So as usual, we'll go with my usual review routine. So let's talk about components. So other than the Go-Rai parts you saw, what you're supposed to get is obviously the mech Jinrai. And as far as I know, there's no anime regarding these mechs from Kotobukiya or frame arms. I know there is a anime based on the frame arms girls, which I did watch, but that's a whole different story. So other than that, we get a lot of close combat weapons. So first of all, on the left side of the leg, you get a close combat knife, which is, I believe, should be the same original as the Go-Rai, because the Go-Rai, as I mentioned, is a tank type unit, support type unit. So the only close combat weapon that the Go-Rai has is that knife you see as well. And then on the back, we see these two bigger swords, or technically machetes. We have these two machetes in this nice metallic silver color, as you can see. And then this thing you see is more of a backpack attachment to store another weapon on the back. I just left it over there. And then hand-wise, we get 3 sets of hands. So the ones you see right now these ones are the multi-purpose hands, which I like to call, which is basically the hands that are meant for holding the weapons. Other than those hands, we get 2 more. We get normal open hands, and then we get fist hands. Very basic, and I'm glad they actually give you fully open hands, because when it comes to Gunpla, they don't really give you the fully open hands that often. And then here we have some sticker decal sheets. We have a number 10, and then we have the name Jinrai and some symbols. I believe this one goes onto the forehead, I believe. Once again, didn't apply those yet. So yeah, if there is like a manga or anime or novel regarding these mechs, please let me know actually. And here we have the weapons that you're supposed to use. Of course, a lot of people do tell me that the Kotobukiya requires a lot of painting just to give you guys an idea why. So we have these pickaxe, or at least let's say we have this scythe weapon. It looks okay for now, but if you look at the manual, this is how it's supposed to look like. As you can see, pretty much everything is not in the right color. So you have to color the black and red, the silver part in red and black, and then even on the scythe itself, we have to color a few areas. So a lot of coloring is required. So yeah. Which is why I believe a lot of people consider like the Kotobukiya frame arms kits to be a more like advanced level or something like that. But building was okay. So we get the scythe weapon, and then we only get one stick, basically. We only get one stick or handle, so if you want to have that pickaxe weapon, you have to replace it, the scythe with the pickaxe weapon like this, by plugging it in. And then we get a third version, which is a sword. You can just use this as a sword if you want to, or you can take this part and then use this as a handle, but I've tried it. It's a little bit wobbly, but still works. Or you can finally attach this right over here and then use it as a very long spear type weapon. I'm not sure how you would actually use this, but yeah. Alright. And then, still being based on the Jinrai, they do still provide you a more typical Jinrai-ish cannon type weapon. Now, I believe the Jinrai would usually have this on its shoulder, I believe. Yeah, on the shoulder. This one actually attaches to the arm using these pieces, as you can see, which I'll show you guys later in the back section. Other than that, we do have some leftover parts. Here are the ones I cut off. I forgot. I'm not really too sure what these are for, but they're leftover pieces. And then here we have some plates of the leftover parts. So everything you see here, I'm gonna assume that these are all for the original Jinrai kit. But yeah, we have that's something that looks like the feet, a forehead armor. No, sorry about that. We have these parts, which I have no idea what they are. Let's see, we have this part, which I believe this is the original chest of the Jinrai. This part, I'm not too sure what that is. Yeah, once again, not too sure. Here we have more parts. This one looks like for the back section of the kit. For Jinrai, another forehead thing. So I'm not sure. Maybe there's like once again, there's multiple versions of Jinrai. So obviously these are for those things. And then here we have these look like more armor types. This one looks like for the shoulder cannon. For the original Jinrai, this looks like for the back skirt or front skirt, one of those things, I believe. And more armor here. This must be the original head part for the original Jinrai, I believe, but who knows. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so let's get on to the review. So once again, I can show you guys the articulation, but the way how you're supposed to use the weapons, there are just multiple ways you can do this. So I'm just going to show you guys like the basic stuff you can do. And then other than that, it's all up to your imagination on how to use those weapons. So before we go on to articulation, I'm pretty sure for those who are not too familiar with this kit, or these type of kits, let's just show you guys like a size comparison. So here is a typical HD kit, the HD local type, the Gundam local type, and then here we have the Premium Bandai exclusive Master Grade Prototype Gundam, which is still based on the Master Grade Gundam RX-78 2.0 as well. So you can see the size is literally between a Master Grade and an HD kit. So yeah. It might be actually the same size as a Reborn 100 Gun Easy, who knows actually. Yeah, the Gun Easy, I do have a lot of them, but yeah, they're all somewhere else in my room. Okay, so now let's get on to the articulation. Now the articulation, I've noticed, it's not too great compared to Gunpla these days, but still it gets the job done because there are some areas that has better articulation than a typical Gunpla at the same time. So let's look at the head. Now as I mentioned, the main reason that got me hooked onto this on buying this is basically this kit is red and it has a green visor. Oops, sorry about that. It has a green visor in there. They did a pretty good job. So yeah. So head articulation can go down that much and has a very long chin, and then can go up that much, and then 360 twist should be possible as well. Okay, so once again, if I buy any other frame arms kit, they should, almost all of them should have like similar articulation, other than if they look different, because there are some frame arm kits that looks very different, like such as height. There's one that looks very short compared to the other stuff, but yeah, that's going to be in the future. So here we have the shoulder articulation. So the way how the shoulder is connected inside, regarding the inner frame, is that we have this part, and then on this lower section, it's connected to a ball joint here. So the ball joint is inside there, which allows us to get a good range of movement for the shoulders. And then you can see there's like a polycap part there, which allows us to move the shoulder or arm entirely 90 degrees to the side. So that's very good. And then thanks to that connection, 360 on the arm itself is possible, and then a 360 twist on the lower arm is also possible, and then bend it only 90 degree is possible as far as I've tried as well. I don't know, maybe it could be the armor that's blocking it, but still I've tried this without the armor, and then it really couldn't bend that much. But on the wrist, it may not be a ball joint, but on a peg system, it can do this. Come on, okay, there we go. It has a lot of movement, and this actually helps with certain weapons when it comes to posing, obviously. And then and the obvious shoulder, we have a peg going. There should be a hole here which connects this peg, and then this thing is also connected to another peg, but this one's actually pretty stiff, so I don't suggest you rotate this left and right, but it is easy to rotate like this. So 360 is possible, so if you want to have the machete face forward, that's okay. And then here we have the machete type weapon. Once again, I believe this is not the original color. If you look at the manual, there should be more colors in this machete, but still, that looks pretty good. Or no, not a machete. Actually, this might be more close to a kukuri knife. Who knows? But yeah, they don't. The way how they connect, you just need to slide them in here, and they just connect. Yeah, they're just there. At least these knives work okay, because I believe if you look at the front section of the box, or like if you look at the first page of the manual, it's all actually holding the knife, the very long sword, actually, not knife. So yes, you are able to actually hold in other weapons as well, but for some reason this, I mean, it does connect, but not in the best way. It doesn't really feel as tight as the kukuri knives. So yeah, there's like multiple ways you can do with these. Okay, now let's look at the body. In the main body section here, we have this obvious waist that allows us to do a nice ab crunch, and goes back a little bit more, and then since it's on a peg as well, 360 twist on the entire body should be possible, because I believe there are some frame arms kit that does have transformation that requires you to rotate the waist. Let's look at the back section. Here we have a very simple looking backpack that allows us to hold on to more weapons if we have the parts. More holes for more customization, more holes for armor. Back skirt, pretty simple. No front skirt or back skirt, or actually, yeah, this should be the back skirt armor, but not in like the large way how Gunpla does it. We have no side skirt, which allows more movement, and I've noticed there's no thruster. So yeah. So let's get the legs now. Regarding the legs, I had 2 times where I had these pop out. Now they're not popping out that easily, but the way how these connect is that the connection point between the waist and the legs, that there's another piece that connects both of them, and that part may pop out if you're not careful enough. It's not loose, it's pretty tight, but if you're not aware of it, you might pop it off. So maybe just to be safe, gluing it might be like another solution, but who knows. So we have a nice 90 degree or a little bit more kick front, and then we can go backwards a lot more as well. And then bending the legs were not easy because the way how the armor is structured, they have to be lined exactly perfectly to be like moving. If it's like a few off angles, it may pop out. As you can see, something was not right, so the armor was trying to pop off a little bit. So yeah. So we had a nice bend going on here. Actually, this might be a better. Yeah, we have a nice bend, more than 90 degrees. And then the feet, I can't say they are on ball joints like how Gunpla is. I believe they're all connected to pegs. Yeah, but we have a nice ankle movement forward and backward like that, and then we have a nice pivot going on here, which we don't see. I mean, there are some Gunpla that have very nice pivots, but not as good as these too often. So yeah. Oh boy. And then yeah, here we have the knife that's connected. It's pretty much the same way how this connects on for the kukuris. Once again, this one actually is provided in black, so I believe the original color should be the same as this or lighter as this, so keep that in mind. Okay, now we've seen the basic articulation, so I'll be right back with the first set of equipment, so to give you guys a general idea how the equipment works. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with the first set of equipment. So what I did is that on the left hand I gave it the combat knife, on the right hand I gave it the kukuri, and then on the back I just attached the sides. And for those who are wondering, yes, you can attach an action base on this because, like Gunpla, there is actually a hole for an action base on the bottom of the waist section or crotch section, whatever you want to call this. I believe in the Frame Arms Girls anime, the Jinrai character, I think I could be wrong, but was also based on the close combat. While this one is red, I believe in the anime the character was actually in a very different color. But there's also, I also want to show you guys how the weapon attachment works at the same time. So I'm going to take off the sides for now. So here's how the weapon connection works. So taking it off, there's like multiple ways. I mean, you can just pretty much pull it out like this. But what you're supposed to do is that you, unlike Gunpla, where you take off the hand guards and then disassemble the hand pretty much, this one you take off the front four fingers, and then what you do is just pretty much wrap the fingers around the weapon and then reattach to the hand. Now sometimes that when you do this, the weapon may have a perfect fit feeling, while some weapons may be on the wobbly or shaky side, but once you have it actually connected onto the hand fully, it becomes a very firm grip. So the machete is still on the shaky side, but still it's way better than when you have the four fingers on it only. So that's how it works. Okay, and then I also wanted to show you guys where, yes, these are just plugs, or pegs, not how ball joints like how Gunpla is. I wanted to show you guys on how the connection for these two works. So here we have the cannon. So we have this red piece is only on one side, which has a double peg here. One is connected to the cannon. The other one is that you connect the peg to this hand, or arm actually. You attach it there, and then what you need to do is also line, there's a hole there. You need to line that hole up with the hole that's actually on the arm. So that seems about right. And you get this red piece that has a long peg here. You plug it into the arm, and then just pretty much line it up, and there you go. You have the cannon connected to the arm, and that's how you use it. So speaking of which, I'll be right back with the second set of equipment. Okay, I'm back with the second set of equipment. So basically what I did on the left arm is that I gave it the cannon, since I just showed you guys how to attach it. And then hand-wise, I gave it the open hand, and on the right arm or hand, I gave it the scythe weapon going on here. Or if you want to use the pickaxe, obviously you attach the pickaxe type weapon. Of course, I'm not sure how you would use a pickaxe as a weapon. I mean, because considering the way how you're supposed to use a pickaxe, it's kind of odd. But yeah, and on the back of the weapon, or technically on the side of the armor, I pretty much attached the long sword as well. The long sword pose will be on the last part, which is basically after this section right over here. So yeah, it works pretty well, and I've noticed, I've recently checked the design for the Jinrai armor. This is actually the same shoulder armor for the Jinrai, but this is on a different angle. All you need to do is just disassemble the shoulder, and then just turn it 90 degrees, and then you'll have, so the shoulder has to look like this at all times, but for this one it's in a different angle or something like that. So that's a pretty interesting way on how to change things up. And I forgot to notice that there is actually some clear parts other than the visor. Now it wasn't really noticeable while building, because you can see these parts are actually red clear pieces. So yeah, I'm gonna assume they're either some sort of sensors or lights going on. But yeah, and what I meant about the wrist, with these extra movements, they actually give a more natural pose. Because if, let's say in terms of Gunpla, it'll be like this, and then yeah, you'll be always holding it like a stick. But now with this extra movement, you can always go with a more slashing type pose out there. Now I'm not the best posing person out there, I know that, but still, it's good to have that extra range of movement to have a more natural looking pose going on here. Alright, so I'll be right back with the last set of pose, so yeah. Okay, here's the last pose. Now this is the typical super robot final slash sword, like final attack move type of pose, because I don't know, because even in the manual they really wanted to show that aspect as well. So yeah, here we have the weapon. So it's a very, very long weapon. I'm not sure if it should be called a sword or spear or whatever because of the way how it's length. But it's a definitely very cool addition to have, and you can actually do the double hand pose because thanks to the articulated like shoulder parts. Despite the arm may not bend that much, but still with the amount of the shoulder movement this thing has, it is possible to pull off the pose as well. And obviously, if you have more parts, you can even make a longer weapon if you want to do so, or attach some more crazy stuff. But yeah, this is very cool, and I actually really like this. And that was pretty much it for the review of the Kotobukiya Frame Arms Jinrai. So it was very rare and it has a lot of close combat weapons. So yeah, getting this was a very good choice for me and a very good start if you ask me. And yeah, of course there were some parts that I was not too happy about, but they're not like very serious problems, so I can live with them as well. So from next, hopefully my Architect base frame will arrive so I can make the original Gorai but in red colors, and maybe in the future you'll see more frame arms kits. So after the Architect frame, I'm going to make a normal Architect frame review and then show you guys another review of the Gorai, but still hopefully the next frame arms I get will not be based on the Gorai or and something that'll look something very different. Anyways, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the Frame Arms Jinrai. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!